Hmm. Y'all hear that sound? Y'all know what that means. Another episode, another week. Incorrectly correct. Okay, look, man. Y'all know how we do. We just jump right in, right? And nobody gave me any type of permission or clearance or anything like that. But I am gonna say something. I'm gonna save it for the end of the episode. But I just want people to really embrace one another. All right. That's all I'm gonna say right now. For right now. But anyway, man, y'all know how it goes. We're gonna get into this, man. Another episode. Let's have some fun. And here we are, guys. New Year's Eve, right? We about to embark into a new year. Everybody gets prepared. You know, you got what you got you got your greens cooking, right? Black eyed peas. You know what I'm saying? You got everything put together, ready for the new year to bring in. And you are around the people that you want to be around come the rest of the year, right? And then how it go, like whoever you bring in the new year with, that's who you're gonna be around, or that's who you're gonna be with for the new year, or for that following year. I think that's how it goes, right? I mean, I could be wrong. I don't follow those type of things, but I've heard something, right? Then we got to get prepared for all the memes, all the videos, all the shorts, all the clips that we're gonna see about the new year, right? About what's gonna change, and I'm not bringing in the new year with this type of attitude. We see it every single year, and if you don't see it, you at least hear it every time you around somebody that you know. Like it's the go to, right? Like most people think the New Year's mean a reset, right? A clean, you clean slate from like who you were that following year, right? It's a chance to start over. Or but they believe that it's like a new identity, right? Like the first of January just give you permission to be a better person, right? A better version of yourself. Or new year, new me. we hear this all the time, man. And I just want to talk about the real. Can we do that? Right? We don't too much do cliche stuff over here. So can we talk about some realness? Because we hear that a lot, right? And to be honest, how many times have you done it? I'm not calling out people. Well, yeah, I am because I'm calling out myself. How many times have we man, this year I'm doing this, and we never do it. And that doesn't mean you didn't have the right intentions, right? It didn't mean that there was some truth in, man, I'm changing this year. Like, it doesn't really mean that, man. A lot of things could have gotten in the way, right? A new development that you had no clue of, or a change in your work, right? Or some hardship. So you get prepared to do something, and then life will be like, yeah, I hear you, but we ain't doing it. right? So how prepared can you really be about a change when you can pretty much control how you change within yourself when it comes to you and ourselves. Yeah, we can make changes, but the world outside of us, we can never have control of. So a lot of times, like a wrench will get thrown in the plans, man. Like, you know what I mean? An abrupt stop just shows up, right? But like, what are the things we always talk about, right? Financial, we gonna be better financially, health wise, the people we're around, right? Quote unquote toxic people, get them out the way, or hey, God, can you remove all my enemies this year? And then, all, and then when the new year show up, the following year, like that person ain't in my life no more. God removed them. All right. Like, what if indirectly you wanted to remove a person out of your life and you give the credit to God, right? Because that was all you. All you got to do is not be around that person. God didn't remove them, right? You knew who you were speaking of when you said that prayer, and all you did was just steer clear from them. All right, that's the different thing that you did. Like we have to make changes within us, right, in order to see different outcomes. I'm gonna get to what I mean. All right, I'm gonna really get to what I mean. Right, so there's some things that I want to go over. So the real New Year, right? I'm gonna read this to you. The real New Year doesn't start in January, people. Right? It begins the moment something finally becomes undeniable. Not when the calendar changes, but when you can no longer ignore the truth about your life, right? A relationship that may be hollow, uh, a pace that's unsustainable, a version of yourself that no longer fits. The real New Year starts with clarity, not celebration, right? How many times do we do that? Where the party going to be at this year? All right, who are we going with? We going to turn up for the new year. I mean, that that mostly stems from the youth. I would I would like to know that the people who are um I don't want to say old, but you're 40 plus. I would like to think that you guys aren't still doing that, right? Like the real New Year starts when pretending costs more than changing. I boy, there's a lot of things we say. We bring up the things we want to do differently or things we want to add on. Like, I'm gonna start doing this on top of all the normal things that you've been doing. The real New Year, it asks for subtraction, not addition. Right. So as a people, as a society, We're taught to add like new goals, new habits, you know what I'm saying, new identities. But growth, growth only comes with removal, right? Ain't that how things grow? Like one of my philosophies, man, is destroy and rebuild, right? I can't handle all of this that I'm going through. It's so much on me. Okay, well then destroy everything and rebuild, right? Remove that obligation that no longer belongs to you, right? Remove that one lie you've been repeating. Hey, look, man, all of this is reflection, right? Remove one expectation you never agreed to, but you keep honoring. Remove that. That's how you grow. That's a real restart. Man, look. mm, mm, mm. Like the real new year, it feels lighter before it feels better, right? So much is just lifted. How many times have you just ransacked your closet, right? Like you just ransacked everything and just threw everything away, and you feel good about it because you it's a lot of stuff that was in there that you're not gonna touch, you're not gonna wear, you're not gonna do anything with. You just get rid of it, and then now your closet got so much space, and then you can be like, you know what? Okay, now I'll put this here. You've been waiting for a place to put a certain thing that's just piled up in your room, or it ain't got to be your room, just wherever, garage, your car, any place that just holds space, and you just get rid of everything, and now you have space to restart. And I'm gonna say another thing about the what the real new year is, right? Like it can't be optimized. You can't hack it, you can't perfect it, you can't control it into meaning. It unfolds unevenly, right? Progress doubles back. Some of the most important days looks unremarkable from the outside. Just know that, man. It can't be optimized, man. We do that a little too much. But you just gotta just let it flow, man. The real New Year isn't about becoming impressive. How many times we do that? How many times we do that? It's about becoming aligned. That's the real New Year. Alignment. Living in a way that requires less performance and more presence. People put on airs, man. They perform what they said they're gonna do for the new year, quote unquote. But in the meantime, your performing is not your true self. So less performance, more presence. Just show up and be the real you instead of performing to accomplish these things that you always add to your life when it comes to the new year. All right. I don't know. I don't know if this is hitting people. I hope it does, man. All right. The real new year does not begin at midnight. It doesn't arrive with noise or numbers or permission to forget. The real new year begins quietly, right? It can be in the middle of just an ordinary day, right? When something within you becomes impossible to unsee. You have an epiphany, right? A vision, if you will, and you can't unsee it. That's when the real new year can start. It doesn't have to be at the beginning of the year. All right. It begins when you realize that the way you've been living no longer matches what you know to be true. Being that this is a perspective driven podcast, that means your mind has to be open, right? You have to be open to a lot of things because we don't look at things one way and say that's what that is. No, right? Like you've been living the way you've been living, and you like something ain't matching up here. When the cost of staying the same finally outweighs the fear of changing. Man, look, let me say that again, man. I don't know if y'all caught that. When the cost of staying the same finally outweighs the fear of changing. Mm, mm, mm. That's when your mind, body, and soul can no longer endure, right? This act that you've been putting on in your life. When clarity arrives, not as excitement, but as a calm certainty. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, that's when it's new. That's when the moment the year actually turns. That's the turning point right there. Right? The real new year doesn't ask you to reinvent yourself. It asks you to stop pretending, to stop dragging unfinished honesty into another season and calling it hope. Amen. Let me say something right now. We That's one thing you can remove in your new year is the word hope. Get that out your vocabulary. Get it out. I really don't like the word. I think I said this before, right? Get that out of there, man. Get hope up out of there. All you got to do is properly plan, and you can make that thing happen. You ain't got to hope that it happens. You can make it happen. And when it does ask something of you, it usually asks for less. That's that's the turning point of your life. That's the change everybody speaks on at the beginning of the year or the day before, right? On this day, the New Year Eve. That's that. Ooh, when it Less noise, less performance, less agreement with expectations you never chose. Less agreement with expectations you never chose. When I did my research and I did my writings and, I was getting ready for this episode, man, writing down these thoughts and yeah, you know what I'm saying, shaping them to make them sound, a little more carefully planned and written out, you know what I mean? But man, let me tell you something. As I'm writing, I'm not a rapper, but I can imagine when some of these rappers wrote some of their dopest lines, they had that whoo moment. That's a woo moment right there, man. Don't agree with expectations that you didn't choose. I'm gonna give you an example. You ever been invited somewhere, and this person or these people, whoever it was, they really wanted you there. They really wanted your presence, right? And shout out to you if you bring a certain essence to the room or to the place, and you'll be everybody want to be around you. That's dope. You know what I'm saying? I commend you for that. But you really didn't want to be there. You didn't want to show up. You didn't want to tell that person no, right? But you agree with it. Like, yeah, man, I'll show up because you know yourself. You know that you like pleasing people, right? And then they expect you to be there because when you show up, that's who you are at these gatherings, or even if it's something, you know, some more intimate, meaning less, like, right? Not a lot of people, but just a nice little cool get together or whatever it is you've been asked to show up for. And everything in you is like, man, I really don't want to go. I really don't want to be there. You show up anyway, though, right? That's that agreeing with expectations that you didn't choose. That that right there needs to stop a lot, right? In our lives, we have to stop doing that because that's just drawing a lot of energy from you that wasn't supposed to be taken. Okay, that's all I'm saying, man. Right? Because we always go into the new year adding. Right? We just spoke about it, right? New pressure, right? New pressure to become someone brighter, right? Someone more impressive. The new goals, the new habits. We spoke on that, man. We gotta stop trying to add things to our lives so we can feel filled. Man, let go a lot of it. That's how it really works. All right, think about this. Have you ever just watched or or participated into a like a forest fire, or even read about them, or even seen one online or TV or whatever, a video of it, right? Think about, you set that fire. A lot of the trees that aren't dead, that still got a lot of life in them, they don't go anywhere. They get charred a little bit, but they don't really go nowhere. But all the things that are done for, they burn up, right? And then the grass, the ground, you burn, but it's not done, right? After you do that, all you doing is getting rid of all the dead weight. You getting rid of all the dead trees, you know what I'm saying? The dead grass, the dead roots, right? And then as time go by, you see everything start to grow and grow with efficiency. Because now all the bad stuff has been removed, man. That's the restart. Destroy everything and rebuild. That's how your real new year should go, right? The new year asks you what you're willing to lay down. Like what no longer deserves your energy simply because it's familiar, because you're used to it, right? What have you been carrying out of loyalty, fear, or habit rather than the truth? Some of y'all need to make that an affirmation. I know I am. What I've been carrying out of loyalty, fear, or habit instead of the truth. You got to ask yourself that. Once you ask that, you're going to begin to dive deep. Oh, yeah, that got to go. Oh, I've been carrying around this because it means so much to this person, right? Or it means so much to that person. I mean, you're not growing when you do that. You're not making that 180 turn. Right? A lot of people say I made a full 360. Well, that means you just came right back to what you've been doing. That's not the proper term, right? The real turn is that 180. Let me tell you how growth looks. Sometimes growth looks like walking away quietly. Sometimes progress sounds like saying no without explaining yourself. Sometimes healing is choosing rest even when nobody applauds it. Let me tell you, I this is reflection, right? Everything I'm talking about is reflection. And when I made that choice, hey man, I'm just gonna chill. And then, of course, there's gonna be people that don't like that, right? And then they're not gonna honor you choosing to rest and choosing a little bit of peace for yourself. And you like, man, they ain't gonna like this. So you go against your inner feelings anyway. That people pleasing crap, man, we gotta cut it out. And I'm not trying to say just be a Scrooge or a loner, right? But give yourself that space and that peace that you've been wanting. You've been yearning it, and you didn't really know how to accomplish that. You know what to do. You didn't know what steps to take. You know what I mean? Just don't, right? Just don't do it. Back to the optimize. You know what I'm saying? Like how the new year can't be optimized. Right? There's no system that guarantees meaning, right? Ain't no routine that you can perform that protects you from disappointment. There's no version of discipline that turns life into something predictable and clean. Wow, man. Wow. Wow. There's no version of discipline. There's no Man, think about that. Like, yeah, man, I'm gonna discipline myself for this. You work on your discipline, but there's no version of that that turns life into something predictable and clean. You can't predict what's going to happen. We have no control on how life move, like how it goes. We have no control over it. You only have control over you and how you deal with how life switches and throw wrenches at you or try to stop your show you or your progress. You don't have control of that. All right? Know that. Know that about yourself. Know that about the real change. So when we talk new year, new me, keep these in mind, right? Like, okay, when the real new year, right? It unfolds unevenly, right? We discussed that. So some days feel like breakthroughs. Others feel like standing still, wondering if anything is going to happen at all. But something is happening, right? Those are them breakthroughs when you stand still. Stop moving so much. Just stand still. Be observant, right? And let everything come to you versus you going to it. Because when you do that, alignment is happening, right? Presence is happening, right? I know you guys experienced that before. I'm I'm just saying, man. Be still and just watch everything, and then you'll be able to go, oh, okay, that's that's what I need to do. That that reflection, that moment of aha, that can happen at any time. It doesn't have to be the new year, right? Because I guarantee you this, once you make these decisions, that's a new start. So from that day, it can be March 14th. You have this moment of clarity and understanding, that aha moment, and you make your changes, right? That's the new year. From that day, March 14th, until the next March 14th, that's the new year. Because for the rest of that year, you're going to move better. That's all I'm saying, man. We got to stop, you know, taking on these society ideals about the new year, right? And create your own. And it doesn't have to be when everybody else does it. It don't, right? Because that new breakthrough, that new year is you being honest with yourself. That's all. Live in a way that allows you to recognize yourself at the end of the year, not just admire the results. That's all. So, If you enter in this new year, quote unquote, without clarity, without a polished plan, huh? Properly planning, you're not behind. You're just not. You're listening. And that may be the truest way that your new year can begin, man. Right? Because we've been told as a society that this is the New Year's Eve, right? And that tomorrow is the absolute new year. And a lot of us already know that. We know. You can be listening to this and be like, man, I know that January 1st is not the new year. I know this already. You ain't got to tell me. I know this. Man, everybody knew this. That's not the real year. Okay. So doesn't that fall into what I was saying earlier? Right? That's an expectation you never agreed on, that you don't agree with, but you keep honoring it. How do you feel like that's any type of like growth in your life? How do you feel like that's how it is? Man, I already know this, but you do it still. Why? Ain't that what they call insanity? You do the same old things and expecting change. Come on, man. And let's talk about that too. Not the insanity part, but the time frame, right? If we've been finding proof, right, we know that human history, like that spans millions of years. But here we are saying that it's 2025, right? Why do we do that? What's that reason? And I'm not asking to be debatable. I'm not asking that question so I can, you know what I'm saying, come back with something. I'm really asking that question. Like, why do we ignore that? Like we pretty much have an idea. And of course you gotta do your research, do your research, do your research, do your research. It's gonna be a lot of, you know what I'm saying, deep diving. But we have an idea. We don't know the full truth, but we know that the truth is it's not really 2025. Right? So you've been aligning yourself with a improper timeline. That that is how the circle goes, right? The claim of insanity doing the same thing. Like we keep we keep going into these years that we saying that it is. You know what I mean? I'm from the '80s. Which '80s? Right? 1980s. Like that's what we was told we was born in the '80s or the '90s or the 2000s. Why is this the time? We don't really know. It's that easy to just be like, man, look, I ain't about to sit here and go through all the research. So this the year we in, this the year we in, man. I ain't trying to go through all of that. And that I understand. I do get that, right? Because it is tedious. Because the more you dive into what the truth is, the scarier it gets. because it's not what you've always known or what you always thought something was. You know what I'm saying? I totally understand that. There's gonna be a reason why I'm talking about time. I don't want people to be like, man, what the? Nah, just bear with me, ride with me for a little bit. And I also want to play y'all something. I want y'all to hear this. And a lot of you guys already know this. And if you don't, you know what I'm saying, dive deeper, right? Don't just go off of what I'm saying. And don't go off of what you about to hear. But let it spark some type of in you. Just allow that. And then you go and find your own truth, man. Right? So just listen to this real quick.
Did you know that it is possible that we are living in the year 1728 instead of 2025? Now, this is a very interesting theory called the phantom time hypothesis, where it suggests that 300 years of history never actually took place. In the 1990s, a German historian named Herbert Illig came up with this theory, suggesting that the Roman Emperor Otto III and Pope Sylvester II altered the calendar to be the year 1000, purely because it sounded more significant. This would be like a coffee shop opening up last year and changing its sign to say, serving coffee since 1967 versus serving coffee since yesterday. It just sounds better. Anyways, let's look at the evidence. Up until the year 614, the Roman Empire was still around, and we have tons of records of war, leaders, daily life. They built major cities, aqueducts, and advanced technology, like inventing concrete, road networks, even paper. And then, after the year 911, we have lots of books and documents around medieval Europe. People were inventing mechanical clocks, windmills, better farming tools. But between those years, there's almost nothing. No big advancements, no major discoveries, virtually no change in population, very few written records. This is why this time is often referred to as the Dark Ages, because we literally don't know too much of what actually took place. So did just nothing happen for 300 years? Well, let's look at architecture. In the 600s, the Byzantine architecture was very popular. It had these big domed roofs, golden mosaics, and highly decorated interiors. Now, if you look at the Roman-esque architecture, which was popular in the 900s, they have a relatively similar build. Large fortress-like buildings with thick walls and stone carvings. If 300 years did pass by, wouldn't we see a bigger difference in architecture? Suggesting that buildings like these were actually built closer together and not 300 years apart. Back in those years, the calendar wasn't as solidified as it is today. In fact, they had 7 major calendars being used at the time, all of which would track time differently. So it is very possible that time was added or removed in this time frame. It happened, and more than once. So that is the bulk of the theory as to why we could actually be in 1728 and not 2025. Come back.
Okay. And I'm gonna leave that link in the description so you guys can go look at it for yourself and do the proper deep thinking. But we all heard about the Dark Ages, right? I ain't gonna get too educational. I just want you to hear that. So the question, like, are we in 2025? Right? Like I said, I'm not gonna go too deep. I'm leaving that up to y'all because I don't really have the answers. You know what I'm saying? But what I just played for you guys, you know, a lot of it is being documented, and we're aligning ourselves every day, every year, every month improperly, right? And here we are. We go through these issues like, why hasn't this happened for me? I'm putting in the work for this to happen for me. Why it hasn't been happening? I don't know what I have to do. I've exhausted all of the things that I thought was the proper way to go about something for this one thing to happen, and it frustrates you, right? It just I don't get it. Why is it not happening? Why is it not happening? And that's strictly because we are poorly aligned, right? This is why removing a lot of the things that you've always leaned on is the way to growth. That's the way to real growth, right? And real growth only starts by removal. And when you remove, you restart, right? That's the new start, the new year, whatever date that is. That's your new year. But I'm not saying that, we're not going to celebrate what we've been knowing all these years. Who am I to tell you what to do? You know what I'm saying? I ain't nobody. But I always like to put a spark out there for you to say, huh, all right, I want to go deeper and see what this dude talking about. All right. Let me take a deeper dive and see what this man is talking about. He could be tripping. And I could be. But guess what? By removing someone's expectation of me, I'm able to have these thoughts, right? Don't if you expect me to speak like I used to or like everybody else do, I wouldn't be saying what I'm saying right now. I'd just be moving along how everybody else do. Freedom, right? It is one of the most amazing things when you get to achieve that in the mind. Freedom. And not being chained down mentally, right? Which eventually, ooh, yeah, I did that. Put me in the booth. Um, it eventually affects the rest of your makeup. You know what I'm saying? Like how the mind works. The mind is very powerful. It's very powerful. Yeah, right. And once you align your mind, and then okay, now I can just my body gets to do this. My spirit does this. My soul does this. It's a full restart, right? So while we running around thinking that a time is a certain time, why are we walking around being programmed? That's the full circle I was speaking of, right? Let going of things. Let go of it. Let go of the what you've always thought, what you've always been told, what you've always been taught. Let it go and create your own understanding. You can do that by being still. You can do that by not being social within the expectations of others. Maybe those people that you want removed, you'll find a way to do that as well. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? We don't. I'm just saying, man. That's, I'm just saying, man. Right? I can't stress that enough. Don't go off of my words. I always want to be different, man. I always want to put out something that everybody else probably don't. And somebody probably do think the way I do. Somebody is giving out this type of game to everybody. You know what I mean? But if you haven't heard it, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty honored that you heard it from me. And what I just put out is not the actual truth, right? Perspective. That's how this podcast moves. But I want people to think like this New Year thing is not it's not it. Okay, it's not it, man. Right? Create your own theories or create your own how do you call it? Your own understanding of what a new year could be. And now with gym membership, losing weight, yes, all of that kind of stuff happens once you start switching your mindset, right? It does. That's how it happens. All right, man. I'm. I want to. I just wanted to let you guys know that I want everybody to be safe out there. If you're going to go to a party, if you are going to go have you some fun, if you are going to bring in the New Year's with someone that you want to be with throughout the year, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and do that. I'm not trying to um change your way of thinking, but I am trying to at least give you a detour. You know what I mean? So you can find another way to get to this thing that we call our truth. You know what I'm saying? But it is New Year's Eve. It's been this way for thousands and thousands of years, right? So who am I to be like, man, that ain't it. This ain't the real New Year's. But it is. And I don't mean as far as the date wise. I mean as far as you as yourself. You want to enter a new year, right? Enter it by removing a lot and rebuilding. Destroy and rebuild, man. All right. I just want to put that out there, man. And here we are. We're about to get to this moment that a lot of you like. And then when I say a lot of you, man, you know, I get at least like 4 to 5 messages where people, they tell me how much the the stain on the white tee, like it's funny because they realize sometimes. Like, hey man, that bothers me too. And then sometimes I'll get one, right? And I did say last week that I was going to give out somebody's stain on their white tee this week. I did say that. And I'm gonna stick to my guns, man, and I'm gonna give it out. Okay. So this one comes from, and bear with me for a little bit. I'm about to look this up. I'm about to look it up. I'm about to look it up. Stay with me. I'm so sorry. And while I'm looking, man, I want you guys to reflect on um I want you guys to reflect on these past 12 months. What was different? What was impactful? Right? Was there anything that happened that made you go, "Hey, something is off"? Yeah, that's that's not too much to ask. It ain't too much to ask, but I'm asking it anyway. You know what I'm saying? But so this week I'm going to pull up a okay, so at MCHI 18, all right, you get your shout out. Um, your request or your mention for staying on a white tee is that people are not nice during the holidays. Rude drivers and rude ass shoppers. Um, so shout out to you. That's your stain on your white tee, your honorable mention. And yes, and you know what? To be real, it ain't always the holidays. That's every day, rude shoppers, man. You can walk down aisles. You got a bat, and people. I'm with you. I'm with you because people are observant. They seen you when you first turned down that aisle. I'm talking about shoppers. They seen you when you first turned down that aisle with your shopping cart, right? And they're in the middle of the aisle because they're looking for something. And they wait until you get right up on them. And sometimes they still won't even move. Wait till you get right up on them, stay right there. And you got to make a gesture for the, I'm sorry. Like, you seen me as soon as I came. Why ain't you move it then? Or say you looking for something and they walk right past you when it's a tight spot and don't even say excuse me. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. You know what I'm saying? And it gets worse during the holidays. You're absolutely right. It gets worse. It's already bad every single day. But it gets worse. So shout out to you, man. And this week, staying on my white tee is still within the realm of New Year's. I can't stand when people would throw the year that it is to explain themselves on what they are and aren't going to do, or to explain why people, why it's silly for people to do things. Right? Let me give you an example. You witness somebody, um, do some corny or some you know what I mean? Like, what you doing, man? Like you'll see somebody do some weird stuff and then you'll say to yourself, or you'll say to them, like, what was that? Why'd you do that? Man, it's 2025, man. We gotta stop. Like that right there drives me insane. It drives me nuts when I hear that. You give out the year like that means anything because you know what? You and those people have been doing it in the 1900s and even now, and you're going to continue to do it. So why are you even throwing a year out as if something got to be, you know, like I know y'all know what I'm saying. I can only give examples. It's hard to explain. I can only give examples. You know what I mean? Like you still texting and driving. It's 2025, man. Shut up. Why 2025 matters about what you're doing at this present moment? Why that matter? Because you did it last year and you're going to do it in the next year. So people do that a lot. I hear it in regular conversations all the time, and it drives me nuts, man. I just sit there and with the stern face, you know what I'm saying? Tight lips. I want to grip my teeth, a fist ball up. Man, you still putting sugar in your Kool-Aid? Come on, man. It's 2025. I can't stand that. I know that one was outlandish, but that was on purpose. So you guys can hear how silly the stuff sound, man. That that right there, that's it, bro. I'm telling you, I can't take it. I can't take it. Man, you putting gas in your come on, man. Like it's 8 o'clock at night, man. You putting gas in your car. It's 2025, man. We gotta stop. Hey, bro, just shut up. Yeah, man. So this week, shout out. And if I said your name wrong, I truly, truly apologize. I really do. And it can be some type of acronym for something else. So my apologies. You know what I mean? I don't not trying to, mess up your name, but Michi, it could be MCHI 18, Michi 18. If I'm doing it wrong, I apologize, but shout out to you for sending in your stain on your white tee. You know what I'm saying? I totally agree with you because that's every day, but the holidays do get worse. And so that was it, man. Just as always, man, I love you guys. I thank you guys for just tuning in with me while I talk my BS, right? It could be BS to everybody else, but it's coming from me, so it's my BS. If y'all feel like I ain't making no sense, correct me. I urge that, man. If I'm wrong about something, give me the truth. If you know more than me, give me the truth. I'm never the type of person to be like, what I said is final. That's not how life works. Right? Your opinion or your philosophy is not end all be all. It just ain't. You know what I mean? So if you hearing this, you like, nah, that ain't it, bro. Then tell me. Let me know. I'm with it. Open, perspective driven. That is how this podcast works. You know what I'm saying? So I wanna get into something real quick. Um, I usually don't do this type of thing. You know what I mean? Because, I stay out of people's business. I just keep moving forward, whatever the case may be. Um, but I saw something online, you know what I mean? And um, golly, man. So this I'm about to shout out somebody. And as far as personally, on a deeper level, like on some everyday type stuff, I will say that I do not know this guy on that level, right? But I will say this. I went to school with this dude. Excuse me. I went to school with this dude, man. Minor, rest in heaven. I saw the news. Minor Dixon, man. I went to school with this guy. Now I'm gonna say one thing. I'm only bringing this up for this reason. For one, um, everyone, all right. If you're listening, um, his family has started a GoFundMe, and I'm encouraging people to have a heart, right? To have a heart and to show up and helping his family out. I'm not gonna go into deeper details because I don't really know really. You know what I'm saying? As far as like what I'm the real facts and all of these things, right? But I'm gonna say one thing about this guy that no matter how many times you're gonna see or hear about someone who's no longer with us, and then you get the cliches of man he was a good dude and everybody liked him, and for this man it is the absolute truth, the absolute truth, right? Dude was a good dude. That's first and foremost. You you're gonna always see this. If you know what I mean, if you hear my voice and y'all know who I'm talking about, you're gonna always hear like, man, this dude was so cool. And this dude was a good cat. He was, man. He really, really was. Every time I've ever had any kind of encounter with him, that's what it was, right? Outside of high school, you know what I'm saying? Or even on something small like um, social media. Good dude, man. And look, man, his family, we really want to send our love to them. Um, people, please, please be more loving I know you hear this a lot, man, but I can't stand when families and friends or whatever you want to call them are in a disarray and y'all can't get y'all s together. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all can't get y'all together, man. It's hard for me to with you for real, for real. It's hard for me to f with you because you holding on to something and it's just not fair for you to hold on so deep to something that it allows you to not speak to or be around. And I'm not saying this is the case for this man because I'm pretty sure everybody that knows him and love him, they were in contact with him all the time. You know what I'm saying? He was really a good dude like that. I'm not even BSing, man. I'm not putting on no airs, man. Minor, you was the S word, bro. For real, for real. You know what I'm saying? I've seen him, and he was pretty popular in high school. Like everybody knew him, everybody liked him, and I seen him show love to the not so popular. You know what I'm saying? Like he was, and in high school that type of stuff is like almost celebrity status. You know what I'm saying? In your high school, who was the dude that everybody know? You know what I'm saying? Who's popular? He was one of them, and I've seen how nice he was to everybody. Now, if you didn't align with him, you know what I'm saying, then he ain't gonna mess with you. You know what I'm saying? That's just for sure. But all in all, man, Minor Dixon, man, rest in heaven, dude. You was a good dude. You really was, and I hate when people say that after somebody is gone. You know what I mean? And so that let's let everybody know that now, bro. Like if you love somebody, man, cherish that person. If it's a family member, man, find a way to cherish that person, man. You know what I'm saying? Like who wants to wake up and then see this and be heavy hearted? You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure you're gonna still be heavy hearted, but you'll be more free your in your grieving process because that person knew how much you care for them. So so with that, that it's like, yeah, man, I know that they love me and they knew that I loved them because we showed it every single day. We showed it all the time. You know what I mean? That type of grieving process can be a little easier. You know what I mean? I don't do this type of thing, man, but I will say that everyone, man, everyone who's ever been in contact with this guy, they know that he really was a cool cat, man, a real good dude. And you know what I'm saying? Like love to your family, sir, your wife, your children, man, your loved ones. Um, everybody gonna miss you, man, and you was a good dude. So y'all make sure y'all let everybody that y'all really do care for, let them know, man, for real, for real. Let them know. You know what I mean? It's one of them situations like, man, I ain't supposed to come across this, or I ain't supposed to wake. I'm not supposed to wake up to this. There's gonna be a link. I'm gonna leave it for the GoFundMe, man. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna put it on the incorrectly correct Facebook page. So just go on Facebook, incorrectly correct. Look it up. The link is gonna be on there, and then you guys go and support his family, man. For real, man. That's it, man. As always, man. Y'all know I love y'all. I want to thank y'all for showing up. Like I always say, man. Even if it's just two, thank you to you two for showing up and supporting this because this is very therapeutic. I say it every week, and I'm not gonna stop saying it. You know what I'm saying? I love this. I love y'all. This is fun for me. This is great for me. I hope it helps somebody to um have a different aspect of the way they thinking. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do here, right? So yeah, man. Um, Happy New Year, and we out.